of Jura taking over here inside the last furlong. Clear by 2.5 to Candleford Goliath. Middle Earth is running on. But Isle of Jura and Callum Shepherd have it sewn up as they run up towards the line. Isle of Jura wins the Hardwick Stakes.
Every week in the UK, there are around 200 horse races. These beautiful, majestic animals running around a track and galloping towards that finish line. But there is a darker side to it. With so many races spread throughout the day, this leads to so many opportunities for gambling. The main reason for the abuse that owners, jockeys and trainers receive on a daily basis.
It's 7 AM, we're here on Newmarket Gallops. I'm Callum Shepherd, just riding work for my principal trainer George Scott. Social media abuse is something myself and my colleagues have to deal with on a day-to-day basis, really.
I asked Callum to show me a few examples of the types of messages that he gets.
Why ride a horse like that? Honestly, people spend money on you guys to do a job and you blow it by idiotic decisions, absolute disgrace. What's the point in riding a horse like that? Useless. Useless. Want shooting, you useless fiddling. You are wank and you look like a tranny. Your poor mother made up with the abuse you're getting. Hope you get lynched, mate.
Another day and another sun shining over Newmarket. The horses are getting ready for another very busy day's racing. Today I'm going with Callum to Chelmsford City Racecourse to see the abuse that jockeys get in action.
So I've been riding horses from a very young age, probably 4 or 5, and I was fortunate to have access to them throughout my childhood and just fell in love with them. Decided probably from maybe 9 or 10 that I'd really like to be a jockey, and still that same passion has never left me, really.
In another busy day for Callum, he has 7 rides altogether. In the red and white checkered silks, he is riding Cozy Bellow for trainer Charlie Fellows. In number 1, he is around 3rd favourite for the race. And he was a winner. Some quick interviews for Callum before going back to the weighing room and getting ready for the next.
Really, and he's made up a lot of ground very quickly, very strong through the line. He was probably fresher cantering back than he was going out.
So today here at Chelmsford, Callum's had a mixed day. He had 2 big price place horses as well as a winner. However, afterwards, one horse who was favourite had to be pulled out due to being unruly at the stalls, and he had another beaten favourite. So let's go and catch up with him and see if he did get any hate during the day.
Callum Shepherd, one woeful of a jockey. Well done, Callum, possibly the biggest non-try of your career, you weasel. And Callum Shepherd wouldn't finish his dinner.
as we've proved today, jockeys can receive abuse for almost every ride they have. Others have spoken out about it too, including Saffie Osborne and John Joe O'Neill Jr., but Callum has said almost every jockey will have received these abusive messages. At the start of this journey, I contacted the police about the Malicious Communications Act, but couldn't narrow this information down to just horse racing. But of course, it isn't just limited to horse racing. A study by Loughborough University revealed that almost a third of social media posts after a sporting event contained abuse towards the athletes. Now, Callum is essentially freelance. He mainly rides for trainer George Scott, but can ride for other people as well. So when virtually every time he turns up to a racetrack and receives abuse, who is responsible for his welfare? Back in Newmarket and at the Bet365 Craven meeting, I'm meeting with Paul Struthers, Chief Executive of the Professional Jockeys Association.
It is definitely a big issue, and especially in a sport that's so closely linked to betting, and the fact that people regularly lose money on horse racing and on horses ridden by our members, that is often a trigger point for the abuse.
Would it be your responsibility to look after jockeys like Callum Shepherd, and if so, what do you actually do to make sure that happens?
Yeah, so we're responsible for all our members. Now, not every single professional jockey is a member of the PJA. We've got probably around 99% membership though, so it is our responsibility to educate them on social media, including how best to set up their social media accounts. We work with a former police officer to again support jockeys who have been subject to abuse. Now, some of that fair criticism and comment can often be unpleasant, but it's not illegal, it's not defamatory. Where that abuse oversteps those boundaries, he can step in and guide the jockey through the process. And what Sean's very, very good at, using his history and background as a police officer, is finding these individuals and being able to get in touch with them directly. Even with support provided, there'll be jockeys that don't actually report the abuse to you. They might be suffering in silence. So what can you do or try to do to sort of stop it at the source? Is it just a case of sort of raising more public awareness about the effect that this abuse can have? Stopping it at source is really hard, because we're talking about multi-billion dollar/pound companies who are incredibly good at lobbying. We shouldn't underestimate the challenge, but I think the key message is to never give up, because we can't just shrug our shoulders and accept some of this abhorrent abuse. It's still going to happen, but we've still got to fight to stop it from happening in the first place. Watching this, you may have never even thought about sending a nasty message to a sports person, but as I found out, plenty of people do it. So if you ever have, think about the consequences and what is it going to change?
Abuse via social media, it's become part of the job, and it's terrible really, but I think you just have to deal with it as best you can, and it won't stop me doing this job and loving what I do.
The Darts World Championships are coming up over Christmas. You probably know this guy, Luke Littler, who took the world by storm, making the final last year at just 16 years old. I have been to meet Lennon Wharf, an 11-year-old from Brandon in Suffolk, who has been described as a littler Luke Littler. Lennon's life revolves around darts. He practices for 4 hours every single day after school and has a darts shrine in his living room. He's been lucky enough to have met a lot of his darting heroes too.
My darting heroes are Peter Wright and Phil Taylor, and I've met Robert Thornton, Phil Taylor, Martin Adams, all them sort of like people.
What was it like meeting Phil Taylor?
Really good.
Did he give you any tips? Did he give you any advice?
Yeah, he said practice the bullseyes because it's the smallest shot on the board, and if you can hit a bullseye, you can hit any other bit on the board.
He's also been signed by Target, one of the biggest darts companies. He's got an impressive 180 count, but added another 5 to the list just whilst I was there. I still thought I'd take him on in a 9-dart challenge. I was quite pleased with my score of 105, but it was nowhere near enough to beat Lennon's 175, although I was secretly just pleased I didn't put any holes in his living room wall. Rightly so, Lennon has big dreams for the future.
I want to be world champion.
Thank you, Danny. Yeah, flying time from Coast Island. And Nikki, you've got 3 in the final next week.
I know. Oh, look, unbelievable. Just really, really pleased to get them to qualify. Times irrelevant. You just, obviously nobody wants to go out in the semis. The pressure was off when Bombay Pat qualified there in third, ran really well, didn't break again. But yeah, just to see these two go round, obviously 5 and 6, you're a little bit worried what would happen at the boxes. But yeah, no, just really, really pleased they're there. And look, best of luck to everyone in the final. And we're just pleased to be there after all the hard work.
Definitely. We'll have a walk to the podium so we can get Superstar to the podium where it belongs, it seems.
Definitely at the drink anyway.
But I mean, obviously this week they were drawn 5 and 6. Previously, in the third round, they were drawn the other way around. But they just know how to handle themselves so well, don't they?
Yeah, look, they're experienced dogs, and you know, both of them, when they know there's a dog there, they're not going to do anything silly like charge in or out or anything. So,
talking to Pat Janssens.
Thank you very much, Jason. As Ben said, we're very, very happy with Patrick. Well, I'm now joined by Patrick, Derby winning trainer once again. How does it feel?
Unbelievable, what a greyhound. You know, he broke so well, and then he sort of got shuffled back a bit at the bend, but when he turned there where he was, I thought he got a chance, you know what I mean? I thought the Diamond dog done a fantastic race to get on the inside of that dog, but they sort of come together with that played in our hands, but how brave was he of the last? So I was shouting, and what a dog. And you know, I can't thank Cheryl enough. She done wonders with this dog. Rhea as well, and you know, Ron Mills, and in the beginning when he treated him, you know, he was a nightmare, and honestly, and from where he come and what he done is unbelievable.
Obviously, when you win a derby, you'll be watching the replay a few times, but especially with that one, I don't think you'll ever get bored of watching the replay to seeing how he's won that race.
I said to you before the race, he has to do a kind of ready job, and that's how it felt like, you know what I mean? He starts, you know what I mean, and he stays. He's a very, very good dog. We always thought the world of him, you know what I mean, and what an amazing dog, what an amazing feeling. I can't thank Star Sports enough, Mike, for putting this all on. It's absolutely fantastic, and I love Toaster. It's a beautiful dog track.
Definitely, kind of ready vibes all over. So you've been involved with a few derbies, but your second ground derby win, a great achievement. I'll let you go to the podium. Thank you, Patrick.